Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's story takes us to the unpredictable waters of the South China Sea, where tensions have once again flared between two of the world's most powerful naval forces, the United States Navy and the People's Liberation Army Navy of China. What began as a routine patrol mission quickly escalated into a confrontation that had the potential to ignite a full-scale maritime crisis. The U.S. destroyer, operating under the Freedom of Navigation operations, found itself being shadowed by multiple Chinese warships, each closing in dangerously close, and what happened next stunned everyone watching both from sea and from command centers around the world. The vast expanse of the South China Sea looks calm on the surface, but beneath that blue horizon lies a theater of geopolitical chess. The U.S. Navy routinely sails these contested waters to assert international navigation rights under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. China, however, claims almost the entire region as its own territory, marked by its 9-line. This ongoing dispute has led to countless standoffs and near-miss encounters between American and Chinese vessels. But this latest incident took things to a level unseen in years. The USS Benfold, a guided missile destroyer, was conducting what seemed like a normal patrol when several Chinese Type 052D destroyers appeared on radar, rapidly approaching from the east and west flanks. Communications from the Chinese ships came fast and firm, warning the U.S. vessel to leave Chinese waters immediately. Inside the ship, the crew maintained strict composure. Orders were clear: remain steady, maintain course, and do not provoke. The bridge was tense, illuminated by glowing radar screens and filled with the hum of electronic systems. The commanding officer gave precise directions, ensuring the vessel maintained international protocols while keeping defensive systems ready. The Chinese ships, however, began cutting across the bow of the U.S. destroyer at a dangerously close distance, less than 150 yards. Every sailor on board knew what that meant. One wrong move, one misread signal, and the entire situation could spiral into something catastrophic. What unfolded next was both a display of discipline and determination. The USS Benfold's crew activated their close-in weapons systems in stand-by mode, not as an act of aggression, but as a deterrent. The Chinese destroyers mirrored the action, their deck guns turning slightly in the direction of the American ship. The standoff stretched for minutes that felt like hours. Radio communications grew more aggressive, with the Chinese commander repeating that the U.S. ship had violated Chinese sovereignty, while the American side calmly responded that they were operating in accordance with international law. Then came the unexpected twist. As both sides held position, a sudden drone swarm appeared on radar. Unmanned aerial vehicles, likely launched from a nearby Chinese vessel. The U.S. destroyer immediately responded by deploying counter-drone measures, jamming the incoming signals and launching chaff to confuse radar tracking. For a brief moment, the sky above the South China Sea became a digital battlefield. The tension reached its peak, but before any physical engagement occurred, a Chinese ship appeared to lose power and veer off course, nearly colliding with another of its own fleet. That chaos forced the Chinese formation to break its blockade pattern, allowing the U.S. destroyer to continue its course without firing a single shot. Back in Washington, defense officials were closely monitoring every second of the encounter through satellite and drone feeds. The Pentagon later confirmed that the incident was one of the most aggressive maritime confrontations of the year. Analysts noted that it was not an accident, it was a deliberate show of force from China, testing the U.S. Navy's resolve and response times. Yet, the professional restraint shown by the American crew prevented what could have been a disastrous escalation. Performance-wise, the U.S. Navy's destroyers have proven time and again why they're among the most advanced warships ever built. The Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, like the USS Benfold, are equipped with the Aegis combat system, a networked radar and missile system capable of tracking and intercepting multiple threats simultaneously. Its Espue-1 radar can detect targets hundreds of miles away, while its Tomahawk and Standard missiles give it unmatched reach and firepower. But beyond the hardware, it's the crew's training and coordination that make these ships truly formidable. Every movement, every radio exchange, every maneuver during the standoff reflected years of disciplined preparation. In contrast, the Chinese Type 052D destroyers are no less impressive on paper. They carry advanced radar arrays, long-range anti-ship missiles, and a rapidly improving electronic warfare suite. Over the past decade, China has transformed its navy into a blue water force capable of operating across oceans. However, the difference lies in experience. While China's naval expansion has been rapid, the U.S. Navy's global presence and combat-tested systems still give it an edge in complex, high-tension scenarios. The incident proved that technological capability alone isn't enough. It's the ability to stay composed under pressure that defines true naval dominance. When it comes to safety features, the U.S. Navy places an extraordinary emphasis on operational safety and de-escalation tactics. Every sailor on board is trained to handle both defensive and diplomatic responses. The destroyer's bridge operates under layers of verification before any action is taken, ensuring no accidental engagement occurs. Even during the most aggressive Chinese maneuvers, the crew maintained open communication channels and followed strict engagement protocols designed to prevent misunderstandings. This commitment to restraint is what allowed the U.S. vessel to emerge unscathed, even as Chinese ships pushed dangerously close. What makes this confrontation unique isn't just how close the two sides came to conflict, but what it reveals about the changing nature of global power. The South China Sea has become the most contested maritime arena of the 21st century, serving as the stage for strategic posturing, intelligence gathering, and power projection. Every move, every maneuver is a message. For the U.S., sailing there is about defending international norms and freedom of navigation. For China, it's about asserting regional dominance and testing how far it can push without crossing the line into open conflict. This standoff was a warning not just to Washington, but to the entire world that the balance of power is shifting, and the next spark could ignite something far greater. As video footage of the event circulated online, viewers could see the Chinese destroyers cutting across the sea just meters from the U.S. vessel's bow, while American sailors stood alert on deck, their eyes fixed on the horizon. The professionalism displayed by the U.S. Navy drew praise from military analysts worldwide, while others warned that such encounters are becoming too frequent and too dangerous. In the digital age, where every second of confrontation can be broadcast globally, these moments serve as both deterrent and propaganda, each side trying to prove its resolve. In terms of cost and power, the U.S. Arleigh Burke-class destroyer sits around $1.8 billion per unit, a reflection of its cutting-edge technology, missile systems, and multi-role versatility. The Chinese Type 052D, though cheaper at around $900 million, represents China's growing ability to mass-produce capable ships quickly. Yet the price difference also highlights the investment the U.S. puts into survivability, crew safety, and global reach. A single U.S. destroyer can operate seamlessly with allied fleets from Japan, Australia, or the U.K. Thanks to standardized communication and data systems, a capability China's Navy is still developing. The aftermath of the incident saw intense diplomatic exchanges. The U.S. filed a formal protest against China's unsafe maritime maneuvers, while Beijing accused Washington of provoking instability in Asia. But behind closed doors, both sides knew the truth. This was a warning shot, a reminder that every inch of contested water carries the risk of escalation. The event has since been studied by naval academies and defense strategists as a case study in restraint under provocation. In the end, this episode stands as a powerful example of modern naval brinkmanship. The South China Sea remains a pressure point that could shape the future of global order. What happened between these warships was more than just a test of technology, it was a test of nerves, discipline, and diplomacy. And once again, it showed that while both nations may sail the same waters, their missions, motivations, and methods are oceans apart. So, as the U.S. Navy continues its patrols and China strengthens its fleet, one question remains: how long can such dangerous encounters continue before one side finally crosses the line? For now, calm has returned to the South China Sea, but beneath the waves, both navies remain locked in a silent, strategic struggle, one that could define the fate of the Indo-Pacific for decades to come.